But descriptive writing isn't always easy. That's why the Lewes Public Library and Browseabout Books is hosting a virtual workshop called Bring Setting to Life in Your Fiction. The workshop is presented by Nancy Sakadusky, author of How to Write Winning Short Stories and its companion book. Nancy, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
So as an author, you're probably pretty familiar with the challenges of what it takes to draw readers. Help us understand that.
Well, I think my whole company, Cat and Mouse Press, is based on the local setting. We publish books that are set in the Delmarva region. So most of the stories I publish are set in and around this area, and people read them because they want to feel like they're in this area. Either they live here, they're visiting here, or it could be the middle of the winter and they're wishing they could be here. So setting is one of the main reasons people read beach reads.
Yeah, and that's really important to a great read, isn't it?
Yes, they want to feel like they're actually there. They don't want to just read a story that mentions that they're in, for example, Rehoboth Beach. They want to taste the Thrasher's fries. They want to walk on the boardwalk. They want to recognize streets and buildings and activities.
So you obviously have worked with a lot of authors. Do you think anyone has what it takes to write a book?
Boy, that's a tough question. What I see here is there are a lot of people who are trying writing for the first time. And what happens initially is they find it's a lot harder than they thought. But the ones who persevere, people like the people who may come to this workshop, want to take it up a notch. They want to really learn the craft. They don't just have a good story they want to write down. They want to really perfect their writing and create something, whether it's a short story or a novel, that people will really want to read.
So let us know what folks are going to learn in this workshop.
So setting is more than just a backdrop. When you set a book in, for example, a beach area, you want that reader to feel like they're there. So the characters in the story have to do beachy things. They have to smell salty air. They have to feel the sand on their feet. There's a lot of immersion in the setting that's more than just, as I said, mentioning where the story takes place. So we're going to talk about how to use actions, how to use the senses and not just visual, all the senses to convey the setting. Things like putting on a coat. What type of coat is it? A simple thing like that can convey the setting of a story.
Does it matter who attends? I mean, can a beginner writer attend as well as a more seasoned?
Absolutely. People who are interested in the craft of writing always want to try to be improving. And I find myself, when I go to a workshop, really on any topic, I find something I can take away. And I hope that this workshop would be of benefit to a beginning writer, but also a writer that's in the middle of their writing process, or a writer that's experienced and has already published even novels, wanting to pick up a little tip here or there they might not be familiar with.
All right. Give us the details on the workshop. It's virtual, right?
It is virtual. It's through the Lewes Public Library and Browseabout Books. It's September 2nd, Wednesday, 1 to 2 p.m. We're going to have an initial bit of content, PowerPoint and so forth, and then there'll be plenty of time for questions and discussion, possibly even an exercise or two. And they'll be able to buy the workbook if they're interested. This is the workbook that the exercises will come from. This is just out. In fact, it's just getting into the stores. Browseabout, I think, is getting their order today, or maybe got it yesterday. But they'll be able to try out some of the exercises in the book and really get a sense of how the workshop relates to their own writing.
All right. And it is a free workshop. Nancy Sakadusky, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I hope you get a lot of aspiring writers.